Hello, everyone, and welcome to Top of Mind. I'm Mary Mesaglio, and today I want to talk to you about leading in times of uncertainty. Here at Gartner, we're hearing from clients and prospects from all geographies, all industries, public and private sector, about the massive amount of uncertainty they're navigating inside their organizations, outside their organizations, kind of everywhere. And so there's some things you can do to lead when everything is uncertain and volatile and ambiguous, etc. Some of these things are things you probably already know, but I just want to give you a quick refresher on how to be the best leader you can be when everything appears uncertain. So, three things I want to talk about. Number one, communicate with honesty and empathy. Number two, have hyper clear priorities and repeat them often so your people know what to expect and what's important to you. And number three, where things are really uncertain and you just don't know what's going to happen next, share your guiding principles, the principles that you'll use to make decisions. So if we go into number one, communicate honestly and empathically. I know this sounds drop dead obvious. Like, of course, many of you are probably thinking that's what I do every day. But just a reminder, this is absolutely not a time to insert your language with a lot of corporate speak. So a lot of generic, nice sounding buzzwords that don't really tell anybody anything. So, if you're talking about an AI transformation or a digital transformation, don't say, we are transforming into a digital first, AI first organization ready for the changes of the 21st century, exploiting our ecosystem of partners in order to deliver agile, customer centric, or citizen centric innovations, right? That doesn't help someone with the uncertainty they might be currently feeling. So, real words, plain language, and a lot of honesty delivered in an empathic way. That is the way to communicate right now. And the tolerance for corporate speak in your organization is probably pretty low right now. Second thing, communicate hyper clear priorities and repeat them often so that people understand what matters most to you, what they should be doing next in this great tumultuous sea of change, so that they understand the hierarchy of needs that the organization has and can focus on those. So, some tips here. It sounds really obvious again, right? Communicating priorities. I think a lot of leaders underestimate how many times they need to repeat their priorities. I would say the rule of 10 by 10 by 10 sort of applies here. So repeat your priorities 10 times in 10 different ways for people to get 10%. Your people are busy. They're busy doing the normal stuff they do every day at work. They're busy thinking about their kids' piano lessons and their in laws that are going to visit this weekend and the performance evaluations they have to do and the meeting they're organizing and the 50 emails they have to respond to. So the chances of them massively paying attention to your messaging the first time and only once and remembering it all are really low. So prepare to repeat yourself. Good rule of thumb is if you're not turning blue in the face repeating yourself, you're probably not saying it enough. And make sure those priorities give them a sense of what's expected of them. Give your employees a sense of agency. I have dominion over my own life. I am an agent in my own life. This is what's expected of me. This is not just happening to me. I'm not just a passive observer. So communicate what's changing, but communicate what's not changing. So don't just talk about the changes that are occurring. Talk about the things that are staying the same. In lots of enterprises, there's a lot more than you might think that's actually staying the same. The values that you're anchored in, the way you lead, make sure you communicate the stuff that's not changing, not just the stuff that's changing. So we said number one, communicate empathically and honestly, no corporate speak. Number two, make sure you're hyper clear on your priorities and be prepared to repeat those a lot, communicating not just what's changing, but also what's not changing. And number three, in those areas that are really uncertain, where you just don't know what's going to happen next, communicate your guiding principles. Like, what are the principles that are going to guide you so that people understand what's most important to you, how you will prioritize? And when you do this, when I say principles, I don't just mean nice sounding aphorisms that give everybody the warm fuzzies, like make sure we're bold innovators or we are kind to our coworkers or something like that. That's nice, but it's not that helpful. A great principle resolves the tension between two things you want that aren't compatible. So we want security and we want agility. Which one matters most right now? Right? It also gives people direction when they have a bunch of viable alternatives. Like I could choose path A, it's viable. I could choose path B, I could choose path C. I could choose vendor A or vendor B or vendor C. Which one should I choose? A principal should help them make that decision. Why do you want to do this? Because in times of great ambiguity and uncertainty, the principles are what you're going to use to guide your effort. It's going to say, when everything else changes, I go back to this principle and I use it to make this decision. If you can share that with your people, then they can project themselves into the future, anticipate different scenarios and go, I think Mary's going to choose this, or I know enough about Mary's principles and leadership style to know she's going to choose that. And that again will give your employees a sense of agency and a sense of security and safety in this great tumult. So, three things to think about: communicate with empathy and honesty, no time for corporate speak. Make sure that your priorities are hyper clear and be prepared to repeat them a lot, talking about what's changing, but also including what's not changing, the stuff you're anchored in. There's more of that than you might think. And number three, communicate your guiding principles, not just the nice sounding stuff that gives everybody a good feeling, but the way that you're going to prioritize. This thing is more important than this other thing, not everything's important all the time. In times of uncertainty, your people need to know what's most important and what they're striving towards. If you do this, these simple things can help your team stay focused on the enterprise goals and not get bogged down in the morass of tumult and change. So go forth, be the leader your employees need you to be and your team needs you to be. Go forth and conquer. Thank you very much.